another podcast no one asked for, created by two classically trained ex-theater kids.
We're breaking the stigma around money and talking all about what it's like being young, dumb, and broke. I'm your host, Maria Small.
And I'm your host, Isaiah Washington, and this is Baroque Girls. Happy Halloween,
Happy
everyone.
Halloween. One of my favorite holidays as an actor who loves dressing up in costume.
That's fantastic.
It's truly one of the best days of the year.
Yes.
And we have our amazing best friend slash slay queen.
Slay queen.
Lay.
Lay in the building.
Simply Lay.
Vampire era.
Mhm.
What's up,
Vampire Lay.
How
Yeah.
you
How was
doing?
that? How was the transforming into a vampire process?
So
did it hurt?
basically, I was a vampire hunter.
Okay.
And I got caught lacking.
Right.
And so basically, one of them got me here. And then I was angry at myself for a while. But then I was like,
Happens to the best of us.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I can't hate myself no more. You know, like live, laugh, love.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me eat.
Yes.
So I started going on
Gotta
a massacre.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
I kind of, like on the way here, my Uber driver, he kind of gone.
Okay.
Well, so now
Real.
you have a car? What car is it?
Oh,
Yes,
it's a
man.
Tesla, baby.
A Tesla.
Okay.
Oh,
That's
the
what we
come
like
up.
to hear.
The come up. The property tax
That's
on
you-
that is going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. But you know, it's
Vampires
worth
do
it.
taxes?
Oh, I don't know. Fuck, I don't know anything about
I would
that.
like to make a disclaimer that I do, in fact, do taxes.
Do taxes. She's not actually a
Y'all ain't
vampire.
about
She
to
does
get
the
Yeah,
taxes.
no. Yes, Slay is a
Um,
human that she does taxes. Yes,
If-
we can't continue to be like we don't do taxes on this.
Yeah, we keep talking about that.
Yeah,
multiple-
definitely do
Literally
taxes.
every single episode, somebody has been like, "Oh, I don't do taxes."
And I do know some people who don't do taxes.
Yeah,
so it's like,
all right, we have
I can't
got
joke
to
about this
relax.
anymore.
I mean,
Yeah,
they got
got to
other
relax.
issues to worry about.
They do have
you
other
know?
issues, and that's literally what I
Right.
was trying to say on that one episode with Prance. I was like, they got other things.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
it's
not
a
like
huge
a
issue.
huge deal.
But
You
if
know.
they do catch you,
They will.
They will.
Yeah,
say
They
it's
will
okay,
catch you.
then
Right,
They
right,
will
right,
get
right,
you.
right.
The
So don't
RICO
play- so don't
charges
play with
crazy.
So yeah, don't even try.
Yeah, don't play with
Um,
them. Yeah, Halloween's a great holiday. I never got a chance to celebrate Halloween when I was a kid.
Me
Really?
either.
Due to religion. Due to religion.
Oh,
Which is,
there's nothing
kinda-
scarier
There's
than
nothing
organized
scarier
religion,
than
huh?
organized religion, which Lay
the topic. Yeah,
Lay
the
has a
podcast.
good story about.
The way I
actually.
knew that was gonna be the segue, we were like, I didn't celebrate it. I was like, oh yeah, me too. Like, did you also grow up
Yeah,
Jehovah's Witness?
yeah. I did not grow up Jehovah's Witness. I just grew up, a Southern Christian in a Southern Christian family. So we were
Mhm.
like, none of that devil shit in the house.
Yeah.
So back in the day, I used to just like be like, well, I have to eat candy. So my mom would take me to the store, buy the
Mhm.
big bag of candy, and then I would eat candy and play Wii Sports. We
Wait,
turn all the
you
lights.
And that's
kind of just
Halloween.
like me though.
Mhm.
That's
My
Halloween.
mom would just give me candy
Yep.
and then be like, stay in the house.
Stay in the house, turn the lights off.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Turn the porch light off, so people don't think that they can come here and trick or treat.
Right. You was like, this is my candy.
Yep. And I was like, yeah.
Wow.
So I was fine with it.
Before people just like wait the entire episode wondering what we are dressed as.
Oh shit, that's a very good point.
Because
very
I
good
know
point.
I would be sitting at home watching, being like, what the
What
fuck
are
is
they
happening?
testing? Yeah.
We are catching a vibe
Catching vibes,
and fighting
baby.
demons. This
And
is a
fighting
band-aid.
demons.
Because I've been in a fight. Because I'm a demon. This is
Did you
a
win?
unicorn. Yes. You should see the other guy.
Aha.
Found this at the dollar store. It's a red unicorn thing, but
Oh,
it's
that's
like giving
hard.
Lucifer.
It is
It
very
is.
Lucifer.
It's
for
giving
You
real.
know,
Morning
like
Star.
he's a goat or something.
Ooh.
Is he?
I mean,
he's
I
a
don't know.
goat. Yeah, the
Yeah,
part
He's a goat.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So
Yeah, it's working. It's working.
Yeah,
Goat
it's getting there.
kid.
It's getting there.
Lucifer.
Goated for
goated.
real. Lucifer goated. Lucifer filled. Real as fuck. That's hard.
Um,
That's hard as hell. That's hard as
Yeah.
hell.
real.
Anyway, just wanted to.
Yeah, glad that we clarified that. I am catching vibes. I'm dressed up, like kind of looking like Future in my Future era.
Yeah.
Turn off the lights. I'm looking forward to. You know what I'm saying? I got all this going on. I'm catching crazy vibes.
Yeah,
baby.
absolutely insane.
So
vibes,
yeah,
yeah.
I'm feeling very good.
That's cute. That's
I'm feeling
cute.
very very good. And I need to grow out my hair. I think I need to grow out my hair because I'm just
Yeah,
loving
it's looking
having
good.
hair.
Yeah, no,
Good.
it's a vibe.
I'm
It's a
loving it.
vibe.
I'm loving
Growing it
so
out,
much.
bleaching it, like that looks good.
That's what I'm
Mhm.
thinking. I'm thinking, you know what I'm
Do
saying?
it.
So in about like 5 years, because that's how long it takes to grow
It takes
them,
5
apparently.
years.
That's what Prance said.
Damn.
Prince used to
to
have
grow it
dreads.
out that long.
To grow it
I
out
guess,
this long, yeah, for sure. I think like I could probably get like to up to here in like probably like
I'll get you some like
two.
miracle like do grow.
Yeah, get
Yeah.
some do grow.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Speed
I
that
might
up.
just get like extensions, to be completely real. Like dread extensions.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I was like, I'm here for the journey. Like,
I'm here for the journey.
That's real, but I'm not here for the journey.
that's real.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I
You can
don't
get you can
like
get a
wig
dread
shit.
like wig.
Well, I want it to be like
Kinda.
I'll say I kind of want it to be like a little natural, but
Okay.
like I don't want to put on a wig. I don't want to put on a full wig because I could do that at any time, right? But like I do want to grow it out a little bit, and then I think like if I want them a little bit longer, then I'll just get some extensions.
Okay.
You know
I
what
can
I'm
see
saying?
that. I'm excited for your
Yeah.
dreadlock journey.
Thanks.
I'm
I'm excited for that as well. We'll see that happen. That's also not a guaranteed thing that I will do because apparently it takes a lot to take care of them, and I'm not.
You know what this feels like when you're like, yeah, I'm gonna get an RV.
I'm gonna get a van.
Yeah, and we've referenced this conversation now on 2 different
Are
podcast
you serious?
episodes. Yeah,
What was
we
the other
talked about
one?
it on the camping episode because it's like, come on. Come the fuck on. You're gonna buy an RV. The thing is, no, and I don't know if we went into like detail about this RV situation. Like, we were like, oh, so you're gonna like live off the grid, like you're gonna be like a minimalist, whatever. And Isaiah was like, no, like I'm gonna trick that bitch out, like I'm gonna have like a PS5.
I think my favorite part is that like he didn't like think about the whole situation. Like he was just like, it's vibes, and I was like, so where are you gonna shit, Isaiah? And you're like,
In there.
In the
That
van.
bitch. I'm shit in there.
And then you have to like, we told him you have to like empty the septic tank. He's
and that's
like,
fine with me.
but you also have to like find place. Like you can't park everywhere. Like,
right.
you have to find
Okay.
specific places, and sometimes if you're like remote-ish, like you might not have a place.
And
To
I just
park.
won't go to remote places. Like I'll stay.
But you can't park in like a Walmart parking lot.
Right, you can't park in a Walmart
because
parking lot.
they have no overnight parking.
They don't got like
No.
that. You know what I
Maria
was
said
gonna ask.
don't.
You don't even know what I was gonna ask. They definitely probably got some places that have signal. You know what I'm saying? I play a little online game.
What?
I have my PS5 with me.
I know, but we're talking
Yeah,
about
but like, where are you gonna
legally, like,
park?
being parked.
Parked in a campsite with a guy has a campsite
You know what?
that has
I'm gonna let you live your fantasy.
5. They don't got campsites with 5G.
No,
The
like you
campsite
can
we went on didn't have any sort of.
But that was because
service.
that was in the mountains.
So where are you gonna park? Where are you gonna
They
camp?
don't got no campsites in like a regular ass park. They don't have like regular ass park.
Also,
campsites.
we
I
were
can
like-
see you parked on the side of the freeway because there's like a
Yes, 'cause
satellite
there's some
tower.
signal.
Because also we
Whatever.
were like, yeah,
My
you're
van's
going off
everywhere.
grid. He's like, no, like I'm gonna still go and hang out. Like we got a group
Right,
chat. I'm
yeah,
like,
I got
a group chat.
what do you mean you're gonna park in front of my house with your giant RV? Like he's like, I got wheels. Like
And
I
it'll be a
can-
vibe.
Like,
Y'all not seeing the
what's
vision,
the
man. Y'all not seeing the vision. Once I get that
What's
bitch,
the plot?
y'all gonna be like, oh, Isaiah's spot is crazy, yo. Isaiah's got the van. Yo, we pulling up right in front of Maria's house.
You're like, show up to my place.
Yo, that's insane.
I bring the hangout to y'all. They ain't nothing better than that.
That's kind of real though. Like he don't have to worry about going home because he is home.
Cause
you know what I mean?
home's
He's always
everywhere. You know
home.
what I'm saying? I'm always home. That's the real shit. I'm just saying y'all not seeing the vision yet, but I'm gonna make y'all see it. Trust me.
Okay.
Okay.
Trust me.
Okay. And that sounds a lot like, you're kind of pushing your belief onto us.
Right.
Which kind of is what a lot of organized relationships
She said we gonna get back on topic.
I hope that somebody at some point somebody's got to take a compilation of the crazy ass segues that we take. Because last week it was some insane shit. Last week we were talking about public transportation, and I don't know how in the hell we even got there. I forgot what it fucking was, but it was like we were talking about like food or like grocery stores or
Yeah,
something.
I have no idea.
We were talking about like
You
grocery
were like
stores.
the famine of unwalkable cities.
Yes, that's what it was. That's exactly what it was. It was the famine of unwalkable
A
cities.
food drought or
A
whatever.
food-
Kind of
yeah,
food
food
desert.
deserts.
Food desert.
Food deserts, and it was like the famine of unwalkable cities. That was crazy.
I mean, I get it.
Like everyone gets it, but like it doesn't feel good,
it never feels good. We always look at each other. We're like, oh man, this is about to
Damn.
be some crazy shit that we're about to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am pushing the van life beliefs, much like a belief that was pushed on
A lot of
Elaine.
cult members,
A lot of cult
have
members.
beliefs pushed onto them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ex cult members might share those beliefs.
Ooh,
Ooh.
yeah, some scary. That's some scary
Um,
shit right there.
I don't know. There was like a lot. There like
Ooh.
Jacob's getting these.
I know. I was like, why I thought they were like about to
Sounds
come
like
out
I
through
heard
the
the word
ceiling.
was.
Okay, let me set the scene. Okay.
Yeah, please.
So little me, who didn't know she was gay yet, kept getting told that like being gay was wrong. So like, that's one of the big ones. And then being like you couldn't celebrate holidays. Like there
What
was
cult
like
was this?
Oh, I was Jehovah's Witness.
Jehovah's Witness.
For how long? Like what period of your life?
So like till born until like 16.
Okay.
Because like a lot happened with like my family, and then I moved in with my brother and stuff, and like because he left, like he turned 14 and was like, you know what, actually
King.
this is not for me.
Okay.
And then I was like, because the thing that they do is like, especially if you're going through tough time, they'll like surround you and then suffocate you until like all you know is them.
Yeah.
And so like when my dad passed, right, I was just kind of like tit for tat, like I don't know if I was gonna continue to stay there,
Right.
but they were like, hey, there's a young girl, her dad let's say she gonna see her dad again,
Whoa.
and then like swarm around her and then like support. Like they were nice people. I think they're just misled.
Yeah.
Some of them can catch these hands though.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Catch these fangs.
Right. Oh yeah. Don't let me catch you tonight. And like I don't know, like things that doesn't make sense. Like I remember I didn't own a pair of shorts until I was like 16, 17. Yeah.
Whoa, what's that about?
Cause like it was showing legs and showing like it was being like a harlot or whatever. Like I couldn't.
And you grew up in California where it was hot.
Yeah. So it was like I didn't own like I had
Damn,
shorts,
they had
but
you
like
sweating
like
out here.
basketball shorts, but at the house. So like when I went out, I had to have on pants, and I couldn't wear a tank top outside of the house.
Man.
But
They let you look like Adam Sandler in the
no,
house.
literally,
And nowhere else.
I had no. You know that meme, Jacob? If you can find this in post or something, like there's a picture where it was like I didn't know I was gay starter pack, and it was like the capri shorts, like the ones that
The
stop
little
here
Bermudas
with the
with the
plaid.
plaid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so those ones my mom let me get, and I was wearing the fuck out of those.
Yeah. Yep.
That's
And it'd be
crazy.
hot.
Do you gotta feel like, some cults like shouldn't exist based off of the climate? Right? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it's really hot
Yeah.
here. So it's like
Yeah.
maybe we don't do this. Maybe we don't have that rule here. Maybe we just allow some shorts because it's hot.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
I
It's
had
like,
on.
you really walking out in the summer? in
No,
pants?
literally, and they had me
Right.
knocking on doors, bro. And okay, so when you're out, like you can't wear pants. Like women are in dresses only, or like long skirts, right?
Okay.
And so we were knocking on doors. I remember in middle school, this was crazy because my congregation was by my middle school, and I got bullied in middle school. And so one day they had me knock on the door, and it was my bully's door, and I was like, and he was like, "Oh, Layla, yeah,
Oh,
no,
this is
talk to me."
fucked up.
And I was like,
Oh.
"Oh God!" I had to give like my whole spill and stuff, and I had on a jacket, and it was like 95 degrees that day.
Oh, that's
And
so
I had
fucked
no,
up.
I had on this like long sweater and stuff, and he was like sweating, and I was like, "I can't do this." And my mom was like, "Why are you freezing?" And I'm like, "I can't tell you because like."
Oh. Do you
Yeah.
remember the spiel at all? Like any part of it?
Okay. So I had so you'd be like, "Hi, my name's Layla, and I wanted to talk to you about like." So at the time, I think it was like the memorial. So I'm like, "Oh, I want to formally invite you to the memorial," and it's basically like, what is it? Like when you do the bread and the wine and stuff
Sure.
for like Jesus's body.
Yeah.
For sure.
And so like we were inviting people to that, and so that's a spiel. But they have a bunch of different tracks and a bunch of different books you can give out. And the one I used to love was the jw.org one, where it's like, "Oh yeah, this is how you get to our website." And yeah, I was on top of my shit back then. I had like my
Yeah.
little purse. I found that when I moved recently, like when you helped me move, Isaiah.
Whoa.
I found that purse again. It was
Oh
like
my
one
gosh.
singular track in the back, like behind something, and I was
Oh
like,
my God.
Whoa.
Whoa, that's scary. That's scary.
I know, I was like, damn, they still with me though.
Back in the day, wow,
Yeah,
they
you
never
gotta burn
leave.
that. Like
I know, yeah, no, the purse is gone because
Good,
like
good.
I didn't need a satchel anymore. The one I did for
Louise.
Renaissance Fair, like that little satchel,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I found it there.
Oh, man, that's crazy. Didn't know there was so much history in that.
I know,
Wow.
right?
There's so much history in that
Yeah, I
satchel.
was walking for real. I
So-
should have had a Fitbit.
Yeah, so how
They gotta give every Jehovah's Witness a Fitbit.
No, like
at
I was getting my
least.
steps in. Like
Are like most of the Jehovah's Witnesses like down with the walking and knocking on the doors, like, or is that something that feels like a chore to them?
no, like they be on that shit. Like I remember I used to be excited.
Sorry, can we hold for a second?
Yeah.
Can you just ask that question again?
Yeah, that was annoying. So I hate bitches out there. So for like Jehovah's Witnesses, is the kind of vibe that they like knocking on the doors and walking around, or is it like a chore that everyone like is like, okay, we gotta do this shit now? Like,
No, like they are passionate about it. No, it's like their lifeline, like being able to talk to people. He said, "Okay, we gotta do
We
this."
gotta do
No,
this shit
that's
now.
how I felt, but it'd be
Classic Jehovah Witness lines. Oh, let's go do this shit again.
Here
for
we go
God, I
again.
guess.
Like, oh shit, here we go again. No, they were very excited about it. Like, it was one of those things that it's like an honor to do. And so,
an honor,
yeah,
man.
like knocking on people's
fuck, no, it's
doors.
not. I saw it down. I ain't even. That's so disrespectful. I don't even know how the hell that even came out of my mouth. That was so funny. But that's hot. It's hot as hell out here.
Yeah.
It's hot as
Yeah.
hell. I'm imagining like. I'm sure like this summer was like probably a crazier summer due to climate change, but like it was hot as fuck. during the
Yeah,
summer. It was
imagine
hot as
doing
Yeah.
that.
fuck.
Like the Girl
Doing
Scouts
that.
weren't even out doing their thing.
Yeah,
Like, they
I know,
were
Girl
inside.
Scouts
Yeah, it was
Like,
online order only.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes,
that's
yeah.
yes,
real.
it was online order only. Like, I mean, damn, come on now.
It was too hot.
So it's an honor. So they see it as a privilege.
Okay.
Yeah, and so like it's not. So you know how like other churches, it's like, oh, you only go on like Sundays, right?
Yeah.
I was in that bitch like 4 days a week,
Oh,
and
nah.
I.
Oh, nah. Damn, I'm being real disrespectful.
No.
I'm being real disrespectful. I just.
Yeah,
no
if you're a
fucking
Jehovah's
way.
Witness, don't watch
Yeah,
this.
nah,
Yeah, definitely
no,
don't watch
watch
this.
this.
We're probably just
I'm
gonna piss you
so
off,
Sorry. I'm
but-
so
Yeah, no, it's
sorry.
definitely gonna piss you off.
I just I just hate doing shit. So it's like 4 times.
Being
a
told
week.
No,
to do shit,
literally,
like-
it would be after school. So my congregation was like Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, right? And so Friday and Wednesdays and Mondays were like personal study, family study, and like something else.
Okay.
Mhm.
And basically like you'll have different days. And so I found out recently, so they advertise like Thursdays as like theocratic ministry school. They don't do that anymore, by the way. I don't know why. They just was like,
Okay.
we're not doing that no more. And then they put it all on Tuesdays.
Okay.
So like Tuesday would be like 7 p.m. So I would get home from school, I'd take a shower, get ready, and then we'll go. And then you can't be late, like they be
Yeah.
closing doors and stuff.
Mhm.
But basically what was it? The Thursday night was you would go over like an older like person's house, like a like not an elder because that's a different title, but like someone's house, and you would just like do a study there, and then they would like once a month do like potlucks. And I used to get so excited for these because everybody bought a dish, and I was like,
Really
oh, I get
cute.
to
That's
eat,
cute.
like
Real
that's
as hell,
so
we about to
cute,
eat. Yep.
right? And then I thought that was just my congregation. Nah, that shit was written, like that was like organized.
Oh,
Like all
Potluck?
of them, yeah, like all Jehovah's Witnesses, like at that time during like the 2010s,
What?
like, and it was like written. And then I didn't know till I talked to my friend, and she was like, "Yeah, remember the that one ministry school?" I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Yeah, I love when they did potlucks." I said, "Wait a minute, y'all did potlucks?" And she was like, "Yeah, it was once a month." And then I called my other friend, and I was like, "Y'all did potlucks?" She was like, "Yeah, once a month." And I was like,
that's
So
kind of
this
hard.
wasn't
Actually,
even-
though. That's some like synergy type shit.
Yeah.
That's some synergy
Wow, it's
type
like a little
shit like that.
sorority or something. Like,
Yeah, like everybody eating at the same time, like
Yeah.
across the world is kind of dope.
well, they did it different nights depending on like who it was, but
Okay.
the same one that stays like the same every night was the memorial. Like that one, like at the same time, like ish, like during nightfall, like it's
And
this
what's
whole
the
thing.
memorial celebrating?
Jesus is.
Me when you
Jesus, you know Jesus died for us,
Jesus died for us.
and that
And-
was what we were celebrating.
Okay.
you know it's like Easter.
Scary, scary.
It's like
everyone
like
like they were killing
Jesus.
Jesus.
But yeah,
No.
He's like, no, I want to do this.
that was Jesus at the end of those 3 days getting beamed up. you know?
Literally.
Getting beamed up.
Beamed
God. Beam me up, Jesus. Beam me up, God.
That's for real, like how it seems. Wait, that is Jehovah's Witness the one that everyone gets their own planet when they die?
Nah, that's Mormonism.
No, that's
That's-
what.
That's Mormonism.
Oh, really?
Oh,
yeah, that's planets.
okay. What is like Jehovah? Who's
so
Jehovah?
like that's
God.
God's name.
oh,
That's
Mhm.
God's
it's like God in Latin or God's name.
God's name.
God's name.
Interesting.
God's
Because,
name.
Okay.
Yeah, Yahweh is Hebrew.
Oh my
and
God, the
then
logo.
Jehovah means
Logo's
God of
lame.
Israel in Latin.
Yeah,
God of Israel.
God of
okay.
Israel.
that's God's name.
The logo is
Okay.
very like basic, but it's like
The logo is insanely basic.
the logo's
Yeah.
basic, but low key
I-
is kind of a vibe.
You know, Loki. Like I think I
Yeah,
should have
like
took on my
JW.
passion as a graphic design.
Graphic design is my
Graphic design,
passion.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's just like what
And
Calibri
read-
font.
That's so
Redesign
good.
of Jehovah's Witnesses brand.
The logo.
That's really
like,
what they
I'ma
need, some
eat
new
it.
branding.
No, like okay, like back in the day, if you look up a Watchtower from like 2012, like them shits used to go hard.
What is a
like,
Watchtower?
Oh, okay, that's one of the magazines they give us. So they give you like literature.
That's hard as hell. Watchtower
No,
as a
it
name,
go crazy. It go
damn,
crazy.
I'm low key like
That's
considering
like a good
this.
podcast name.
The
No,
Watchtower.
like it go
Watchtower,
crazy,
yeah.
and like
I'm low-key
basically,
considering
like
this.
they used to look like they used to have like
Whoa,
they went to go.
it's like a little
Oh, that's
comic
tough.
book.
Yeah, no, it went hard.
Oh,
They
that's
changed
tough.
it, but it went hard back in the day. That's like they would have different like art on it and stuff.
Yeah.
And the
Should've
Watchtower
become
was one that you would read going to your meetings, and they'll have questions at the bottom, and then like you'll answer it within the paragraph because they give you both the questions and the answers, so you don't think outside of it.
Yeah.
And that was one of the lectures. The other one was the awake, and I used to give awakes to people when I would knock on doors.
Damn.
Watchtowers and Awake.
I'm
Do you still like have any of this memorabilia, or did you like completely like get rid of all
So
of it?
the
or-
only thing I have is my grandmother's Bible.
Mhm.
Like after she like before she passed, she like gave me her Bible, and like I use it and stuff. It's in a box. Like I don't use
Where it
it,
belongs,
but
yeah,
I
yeah.
can't throw it away because it was my
Sure.
granny's.
Yeah.
But I don't have any of the
You
memorabilia.
gotta like lock that box up a little bit.
Yeah.
That's like a.
Keep the energy in there.
That's so yeah. You gotta keep that
Right,
energy in
it's
there.
like
That's-
there, and then like
Awake.
oh yeah, the awake.
Awake.
Oh wait, I read this one.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Are we living in the last days?
Were
Oh
they,
yeah,
like,
we're
good
all in the
reads?
last days.
there
Well,
pictures?
a lot of the time I think. Oh, can you look at the Revelation book really quick? This book scared the shit out of me as a child because that book basically tells you what happens at Armageddon and you're all gonna die.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it's like red.
Oh.
And when
Yeah,
we did
for
our
sure.
theocratic ministry school like thing, it was kind of scary, low
Yeah,
key.
we're in the last days.
Whoa.
Man.
Yeah.
It's grand climax at
Mhm.
hand.
That's
Mhm.
tough. That is really what's crazy though. Like religions, like it's all about like we are in the final days. You know what I'm saying? Like
We've
it's
always
coming to an
been.
end. Yeah, it's coming to an end. You know what I'm saying? It's
Hmm.
coming to an end, and God's coming back. Like at some point. What Bible do they read? What Bible do Jehovah's
The
read?
New World Translation of the Holy Spirit, I think.
What is that? Is that
that's the-
just the Christian Bible with things added
listen.
on?
I don't know.
Okay, real.
The New
It's
World
great, though.
Translation.
Cause yeah, of the Holy Scriptures.
That's like Taylor's version. Like which y'all mean the New World Translation. Like,
Yeah, no, low key, that Bible felt nice. Like when you
Right.
crack open a new one, I was like, wow,
it's kind of cute. Yeah.
it do be kind of cute.
That's interesting. Yeah, the Mormon Bible is the Christian Bible with like 7 or 8 extra chapters.
What?
Yeah, the
What-
Mormon
what
Bible. is
about
happened
just-
at the end?
afterlife or
It's
something.
it's the Old Testament, the New Testament, which is just the Christian Bible.
Oh yeah.
And then they have like what
Oh.
happened after that. They got
Okay.
like their whole thing. I know a lot about Mormonism as well because I dated a Mormon at one point. And
Is that
yes.
a cult?
They don't like black people.
Yeah.
Which
I don't know why I
Yeah.
felt the need to immediately
Um,
say that, but
love to. I'm not gonna name the names. I'm sure that she's not watching this podcast. But we are. I mean, we're still homies. But like,
Oh, my
you know,
bad.
love to you, respect to you. But yeah, it is kind of wild. It's some pretty wild shit. It's some pretty wild shit. I mean, it's just like the people who have gotten out of it say that it is a cult. Some people, I don't think it is
Yeah.
to the same level probably
Mhm.
as Jehovah's Witness
Yeah.
is, because Mormonism is pretty like large. Like Mormonism is the fastest
Yeah.
growing religion in the
Okay.
world.
that's
So,
just crazy.
yeah. Well, I mean, you also do have to consider about that. It's the fastest growing religion in the world, but you also have to consider that the largest religions in the world have been growing very much up until this point. So it's like the largest religion in the world is Islam, I believe.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like,
Yes.
okay, well, how much are they really going to grow when a lot of the world is already
That's
Islamic?
true,
And
that's
then,
true,
you know,
that's true.
like Christianity, you know, being next. So there's not a ton of like growth that is
Yeah.
still left because they've already done their growing because they've been around for so long. Mormonism is relatively new. Mormonism started in the 1800s.
So what's like, because I don't really know much about religion because I grew up, my stepdad that I grew up with, he was Hindu, and my mom is like pretty agnostic, maybe atheist. I don't know the specifics there. But I like grew up in Nebraska, so like everyone around me was Christian. So it was like a lot of different influences, and it was all very confusing to me. So I just picked none of them.
That's real.
And never really like dug deep into anything. And my biological dad is Muslim. And so, yeah, there's just tons of different religions in my life. And I don't really actually know like what makes a Jehovah's Witness versus like what makes a Mormon, like what is a difference in belief there?
Okay. So where Jehovah's Witnesses don't believe that, like, so like, you know how like the Holy Trinity, that's not a thing.
That's not a thing.
So like God is different from Jesus. Like God is God, and then Jesus is his son, and
Oh,
the Holy
okay.
Spirit is like something else, right?
Okay.
It's just like a spirit. I don't know, but
Right.
it's different. And basically, I'm still a little confused about this because last time I asked this question, I got scolded.
Okay.
And basically it was about creation days. So Jehovah's Witnesses believe so there's 7 creation days, right? Like when God like built the heaven and the earth and all that, it was 7 days, right?
Okay.
And each day was supposed to be 1,000 years, right? And so we were like, okay, and then like he made like the rock and the lava and stuff, right? But what gets me is I asked where the dinosaurs come in, and
Right.
nobody is
And
answering
nobody
me.
is answering that. They
And
don't know the answer.
and the reason I got in trouble is because I just came back from the California Science Center and from field trip,
Yeah.
and I saw the dinosaur bones, and I was like, Granny, like where'd they come from? And she was like, what you mean? And I was like, well, I saw the bones. And she was like, oh, like God made creatures to like clear the skies. And I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. Like, then why he kill them like that? And then she was like, why would you ask that? I was like, I don't know. I had a question. And then I got in trouble again because I was like, okay, but they said them dinosaurs is like millions of years old. And she was like, that's wrong. And I was like, well, they got a fact check. Like, they got a machine.
Right. Like this is what they do.
And she was like, get out my face with that. And I was like,
oh shit!
damn, dinosaurs are a very divisive
But-
topic in the
Yeah.
Jehovah's Witness.
yeah.
Yeah,
and so
I mean, in every
basically, I got in
religion,
trouble
in
for
every
that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Dinosaurs?
dinosaurs.
How did-
Dinosaurs. Well, because
Look,
there's
he be
well,
causing problems.
Well, the
Yeah,
problem.
for real.
Yeah, really. Wow.
He be
this
causing
thing's
problems in
causing
religions.
issues.
Wow.
Yeah, no. Well, that's everything early is very because see the problem with a lot of organized religions is that people take what is on the book at face value, right?
Mm.
So
See, but they be picking and choosing.
and they pick and choose,
Uh-huh,
yeah, of
because
course,
we're not
yes.
supposed to
They
have
pick and choose.
braids according to
Right,
the Bible.
you know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to have tattoos, blah
You
blah
can't
blah,
have,
all
like,
that type,
meat
all that
or
type of
whatever.
shit.
Yeah.
But the thing about creation, about like creation for like at least for Christianity, and I believe for Mormonism as well, is that creation happened, but the entire Bible is written by multiple authors,
Hmm.
and then a group of selected people then chose what is in the Bible around like I don't know, like either the 1000s. It's got to have been like probably the 1000s or a little bit earlier than that. And they selected the group of passages that would then become the Bible.
Mhm.
Like as you know, it's like the story of things. But creation, Adam and Eve, that type of stuff, like God creating heaven and earth, blah blah blah. Nobody was there for that.
Mhm.
It was written as a way to make a beginning. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So, but because that makes that there's no answer, and there's like, oh, there was the first humans, God created the first humans, and then, you know, all humanity comes from that as well, is like, okay, so then where did the millions of years of dinosaurs and all that other stuff
Right.
like
Yeah,
come
because
from?
like there's no like
Right. They could coexist. If you are a religious person, you can both believe in creation and you can believe in dinosaurs. But it would just have to be, you would have to like accept that nobody was there for that. That the Bible is not a thing, or whatever book that you would go by, that you would have to believe that this is not a thing that is written by God. It is written by multiple authors, and it's a
Yeah.
story of what you are supposed to do to live in a divine way. You get what I'm
Mm,
saying?
Yeah.
Because you can believe both. There's really nothing wrong with that. There's actually nothing in the Bible that is like you can't. Like,
Yeah.
you
I
just
think
choose
that-
not to because it's hard.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think that the issue goes like after when they're like, oh, like evolution and stuff, and then
Yeah,
they're like,
exactly.
evolution isn't in the
And
Bible.
it's like evolution's not
Yeah.
in the Bible because God created
Man.
man. You know what
Huh.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like according to the Bible, like God created man 6,000 years ago.
Right.
So it's like where did
Mhm.
these like
so it's like,
millions
so
of
where
years
would
of
the million
dinosaurs-
years?
Yeah.
So where did the like million
Whoa,
years? come
I didn't
from?
know there was like a date like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
And
like
then
the
the question,
creation.
yeah, and then the question of like, where did all the other people come from? Because the story of Adam and Eve, at least,
Incest.
is Adam and Eve. Well, yeah, but it's like, I mean,
Is
well,
this
it
Game of
is.
Thrones?
It
Like
is
they was on some Targaryen shit for real.
for real. But
No,
also,
'cause he
where
took
did those other people come
No,
from?
because okay, so Cain and Abel had sisters, right? And they don't really
Cain
talk
and-
about them because
yeah.
in one passage of the Bible, he was like, "Yeah, Cain took one of the sisters and left because he was banished, not killed."
Yeah.
And then I'm like, "What's their names though?"
Right. Well, it's like Adam and Eve started, you know, Adam, and then Eve came from Adam's rib, and then Eve came from Adam's rib, and then they
Yup.
got banned from the garden
Because they
and,
was out
the
here
Garden of
question.
Eden. Because,
Also, side note, I'm sorry.
Go
This part
ahead.
always upset me
Yeah.
because we were punished. Like we're supposed to be were punished because someone like took a bite of like the apple, and it's not even an apple. Like no one knows what the fruit was
Yes,
or
a
whatever.
fruit.
Because like
Mhm.
okay, my question is, if you don't know what the knowledge of good and bad is, like they were like, don't eat from the
Right,
book,
moral
the,
absolutism, that
yeah,
whole
right.
thing,
Like
yeah.
if you're not supposed to know what that is, and if you ate from it and then you know what it is, like couldn't you have felt remorse for them to understand that they like didn't know,
Right.
Like and
Yeah.
also like that's like putting a toddler and giving them like everything in the room and it's like, hey, but don't touch
don't
the
touch that.
marshmallow,
Yeah.
don't touch it, and then it's like, okay, but you didn't mention anything else. The kid is gonna like once you leave, the kid might touch the marshmallow because
Right.
like curiosity, like
Yeah.
they're not doing it to be malicious.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
didn't say why. Like,
Right.
yes, or
And then it's
curious.
also, but then at the same time, it's like they said they're talking serpent. I'm like, damn, that's a little crazy
There is
for
a
you to
talk-
believe a
yes.
talking serpent.
You know what I'm
but
saying?
then it's
Like,
also like they didn't know that like that was odd too, you know, like
Right.
because you new to the world and you out here
You're new to
exploring
the
the
world.
garden.
You're in the garden. Like I mean, it's you and your homeboy. You know, you came from
and
his
he
rib,
went and gone
and
to
he
the
left and
bathroom
he
or
went to go do
something.
something, and you know now there's this serpent there, and God told you everything in this bitch was good.
Right.
You know
so
what
you
I'm saying?
sitting
It's
here
like, don't
except
eat
for that
from
one
the-
tree.
Yes, except
and
for
then
that
the
one
serpent
tree.
was like, hey yo,
Was like,
I'm
hey,
gonna tell you
know,
something
give
real
it a little
quick.
shot.
Give it like taste a little bit, you know?
Right. You know what I'm saying?
And,
then,
he
there
and she
did.
ate it. And then we get mad at Eve, but like a lot of people don't get mad at Adam, and I'm like, he said because Adam ate it, that's why we had an issue. Like God was talking about like because Adam ate from the tree of like good and bad or whatever, and I was like, damn,
Yeah,
not
Adam
y'all
ate it
mad at
after
Eve.
Eve.
Yeah, I was like, not y'all
Eve
mad
did
at
it, yeah.
Eve when Adam was the one who got us in trouble.
Well, it's like, did that even happen anyway? Though.
Yeah, no, that's real. That's
like,
real.
well, it's
Yeah,
like,
I'm sitting
well,
here.
that's not the
I
purpose
feel like
of
we're
that
discussing a
story.
movie.
Yeah,
I
I
know.
was like, well, that's
It's
also
so
not the
sad.
purpose of that story. Like, yeah, like it's not supposed to be taken as literally,
Literally.
as
There's
it's
no-
literally
But
like,
way.
they literally be
Yeah.
like,
No.
like they'd be like, oh yeah, I ate the apple, and then like people be mad and they'd be like, man, I'm mad that Eve ate the apple. It's just like, bro, like,
yeah,
This is
it's
like, this is like a nursery. Like you're
This
supposed to
is-
learn a
you're supposed
lesson.
Right, it's
to
supposed to
learn
be
something from
lesson.
this.
It's not
yes.
real.
Exactly.
I mean, whatever.
But you know what I
maybe
mean?
it is,
Because if it was, then Adam would have had to have written this. Adam had to have written this.
But, like,
Eve would
Adam
have had to
didn't write
Adam
that.
did not write that. It was. just-
Right.
I forgot who did it though. Shit, I forgot who wrote Genesis.
That's
I'm like,
snake.
damn.
Like
I
who
forgot
else was there?
I
Who
forgot
was
who wrote
there?
It
Genesis.
was just
Fuck.
them, unless it was like
Was
Cain or
Moses
Abel or
Who
something, like
wrote
one of their
it? Like,
kids.
no one
I don't know,
was
but then
there.
after they left the garden, Cain killed Abel, and then Cain
Also-
left, and then went to a new town. But it
Yup.
was like
A
what town of
town?
who?
Right. You know what's
Where did those
crazy?
There
people
was
come from?
stuff.
Do y'all
out
think
there?
he knew
Yeah.
he killed his brother? Like when he did it, like you think he knew like that's what was gonna happen? Because I don't think so. Like nobody ever died before, so
Nobody
how
had
was
ever
he
died
supposed to
before.
know that
So how
like
he was
he was
to know?
gonna kill his brother? I don't think he meant to.
Right.
But that's just my.
I feel like if you see someone with their head bashed in with a rock, that you got to assume that that's not good.
yeah, I don't think he. I
Yeah.
think he was just like, man, you pissed me off, and then like threw it,
Like,
and then he was like, oh.
I don't
Aw,
think he
shit.
threw it. I think he like beat him. I think he like beat him. I'm pretty
not
sure
funny.
that's what it is.
That's
It's
not
like
funny.
crazy.
It's just like
He like
he was like, bitch.
yeah, like head like bashed in type shit. It was like
Damn.
gross.
Right.
But the thing is like to go like to back to like moral absolute, like what's good and bad and blah 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 and what's not. Back in the Old Testament, God is not nice. God
yeah, it
only
seems like
became
an
nice.
evil-
Yeah.
And he like a jealous and like
very. He's
like
a
a
jealous
because he was
he's a
like I'm not.
jealous
He's like I'm a
God.
jealous god.
Yes, I'm a jealous God.
and-
I'm not. You
Maria's
need to
like, what?
follow me. You know what I'm saying? You need to follow me and do the things I do. But that's part of the reason why God, flooded the world and he was like
Mhm.
start over at some point.
Mm-hmm. Which is
Noah's
crazy.
Ark and stuff like that. But then you have to also consider it's like a great rain comes down, right? And then
Mhm.
all of the known animals of the world got on one boat.
Mhm.
And that in itself seems like, oh, well, how in the hell would that be possible?
Mhm.
How do you, say the stuff?
Why they
But-
save the cockroaches? You know what I mean?
Why did
Like-
they say the
I'm
cockroaches? That's
sorry.
a great question. That's a great question. Mhm.
How do you fit everything on the boat? The
But
boat. The Noah's
Well,
Ark
it's
is one of those
technically not a
things.
boat.
No, it's,
like-
but it's only
People with yachts be like,
It's just a big. I think because wasn't it like multiple stories? I
Well,
watched a little
people-
animated movie about it.
I
The
have
JW
also,
and
yes.
the
Did you watch
animated
VeggieTales? You used to watch VeggieTales?
I did. That shit went
VeggieTales.
hard. I'm
VeggieTales
sorry,
is tough.
continue.
I fucked with VeggieTales heavy. Veggie-
they
There's
could be the biggest boat alive.
it didn't
There's
have to
not
be
gonna
the entire world. It literally only had to be one sea. because it's a story, even if it was true. Now, I don't know about like the truth or historical knowledge of Noah's Ark, but if it's a story that is written about one particular thing and it's like every single animal got on this boat, it only has to be an animal from a certain area. They hadn't discovered the entire world.
So like you're saying
So
that
it can
God
literally
didn't
just have been one sea. It could have literally been one sea and one big storm. And that would have been, to us, that's the entire world. You know what I'm saying? Like, the entire world flooded to us because we haven't been anywhere else. But it's like that people then, like, take that and then they're like, oh, the entire earth flooded, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, no one else was there to document the entire earth. Like, it was literally just these people in this one section of the planet, in the Middle East.
I never even thought about it like that.
Yeah,
like,
you know what I mean? There's
like,
so
maybe
many
it was just
things in
there.
organized religion that can literally make sense if you don't take it literally.
Super literally.
If you
Wait,
don't
yeah,
take
no,
it
that makes sense.
super literally.
Like
It's
it was just a really heavy rain. That,
yeah,
like,
and it could also
let
have been a parable, which is just a story to like,
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying? But it could have very well have been like there was a very, very heavy rain, and that motherfucker got every animal I knew on the boat. So,
Right.
I mean, every
because
animal
like there
I
were
saw
no
was on that
penguins
bitch.
up there.
Yeah, there was no
Like-
penguins in the Middle East, so it was like there were no penguins on the Ark. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Because
so
there were no
like-
penguins up there. They had to have gone to Antarctica to do that. They weren't there.
That's so crazy. Like
You
I
know what
never
I
even
mean?
thought about it like that. I just took it for what it was, and I was like, okay, so God flooded the earth.
Yeah, I mean that's what oftentimes I feel like people do with any sort of like divine text is like, oh well, everything that's on this page has to be true word for word 100%. But even Jesus was on earth to like his main way of teaching people was telling stories, you know, telling parables, the Good Samaritan,
Yeah.
all this other stuff. Like he was like, you guys need to live a certain way so that you are living divinely. And he was like trying to teach people how to be good and like how to be
And I think that's where like all religion comes from too,
Yeah,
because like you
trying to be a good
it's
person.
just to understand the world and to be a good person and like form
Yeah.
society and
yeah,
stuff. Like
because before then there was no laws for that or rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Religion is a great concept. You know,
Great concept,
it like
yeah.
really it gives people hope, it gives people a sense of direction. Like it does all that. It's like I mean, I'm sure there are so many people who do believe that all these things in the Bible happened actually, and that sure you can believe that. To me, when I hear them, I hear stories that then
Yeah.
translate into morals, similar to how like we tell children that Santa is real.
Yeah.
And if you're under the age of 7,
We're
please
so
stop.
sorry.
Please stop
This
listening
is a
now.
spoiler.
Skip over 5 minutes.
Yes.
But yeah, Santa's not real. But it's like at the end of the year, it's December, it's winter time. Like people are getting stir crazy. Like kids are like holed up in the house. Like it's a way to make kids
Yeah.
act good.
Yep.
You know,
And he's a vibe. Santa's a vibe.
and he's
Yeah.
just
Why not?
a vibe, and it's like for a greater. It's not but like imagine if people literally believed in Santa. Like imagine
Right.
if grown adults believed that Santa had a workshop with elves.
Yeah,
and like
and then
flew across
traveled
the
the
world.
world.
Like
And then
that's
snuck into your
Noah
house.
putting all the animals on the ark is just as unrealistic as Santa flying around on reindeer. All night.
Exactly,
To
yeah.
me, to me, and so it's just like, but there is something to be gained. I'm gonna teach my kids or my friends' kids about Santa. You know what I mean? Like for
Yeah.
sure.
For sure.
It's like there's stuff to be gained from it, but then it's like when you form a cult around it, when you like
Yeah,
start like
that's when it starts to get
being like,
crazy.
oh, I hate you because you're not in the Bible, and
which
Right.
is
these
so crazy.
insane things are in the Bible, which are real, but being gay is not. Like it's
Right,
like what
you know,
are we doing
exactly,
here?
exactly, you
Come
know.
on,
And then you also have to consider like historically as well. It's like the people who are choosing what is in the current Bible or what was said in the current Bible was, I mean, Europeans, which is why most people believe that Jesus was white, was because
Yeah.
you know it was the you are only knowing what people want you to know. So it was
Yeah.
like while they're selecting all of these texts and blah 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 and like, oh, what's gonna go into what people believe and stuff. You also have to remember at the time of class is that the people who were choosing this and then the people that they were giving this text to couldn't read or they didn't know a whole bunch. They were not educated. So it was like, we're telling you what we want you to believe, you know, for the most part. So it's like to take that then as a divine, like a text word for word, it's like, it first of all does not make a lot of sense and also not what any of the people from that time period asked you to do.
Jesus did not want that. Jesus did not want you to hate people.
Yeah,
Right,
that's literally
and,
his
like,
whole
Jesus was
thing.
a cool guy.
That's his
Yeah,
whole
like
MO.
he was friends with a prostitute. Like,
Yes,
Right.
that's literally
like,
the purpose
and then
of
they're
that.
like all of a sudden like, oh,
Yeah.
you are a harlot and all this other
Right.
stuff, and it's just like Jesus was besties
Right.
with
with
a harlot.
everybody.
Like,
That's
like, he loved
literally his whole
everyone.
thing. That's literally his
And
whole
I
thing.
remember reading somewhere when they were talking about how like the original translation of like man shall not lie with other man was like man shouldn't lie with
Yeah.
boy.
It's
And
like it's about pedophilia.
and it's like y'all was like,
yeah.
we're gonna change the meaning of that
Mhm.
to like ruin other people's lives, where it's like you should be going after pedophiles,
Right.
Right.
But
Yes.
y'all aren't. So
Yes.
it's like,
And instead, the Catholic Church is protecting pedophiles.
yeah, which
So
is kind of like
that's cool.
really insane because that was really taking care of an issue back in
Yeah.
the
No,
day.
like,
it was
he
like
was really
it was
looking
literally
out.
like,
He was
oh,
looking
there's
out.
a lot of pedophiles. Like we should
do something
about
this.
that.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden
They're
it was
like, no gay people.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's just make it gay because there was a whole bunch of pedophiles who were in those bigger like
Right.
Yep. And then
big
they were like,
churches.
let's make it gay.
You know what I'm
And then-
saying?
Right.
And there was plenty of times too in history where people believed that you could buy your way into heaven, and that was because the church needed to make money or
Mhm.
wanted to make
Mhm.
money at some point. So it was like in I mean I don't know the exact country, so I'll just say European countries at a certain period of time was that you could go into the church, you could confess your sins, and you could be like, okay, and the person would tell you, be like, okay, you fucked up a whole lot, but you scrounge up some money, you give me 40
He said
pence,
$50.
and
I'll
you're in.
believe.
Yeah, you're in, baby. You're in. You're straight. Like you have no other sense. You know,
That's so crazy.
That's a full. That's a
insane.
full thing.
That's
That's a
insane.
full time. So like you think about like how we'll look at religion and history at some point, like 50, no, probably like 100 years from now. If things are still, if the world's still turning, and we'll look back at how I'm just like American Christianity is what I really know mostly
Yeah.
about.
Mhm.
Is like, damn, these people really
Yeah.
just kind of use that to justify whatever the hell they wanted to do.
Yeah.
Like even King Henry VIII, like with all the wives, like he started
Yeah.
his own like religion. And
Started
was
his
like,
own
hey,
religion,
yo,
the Church of England.
I can
yeah.
get a whole lot of, I can get
Or
a whole
left the Church of
harem.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I
can
mean,
change
that
it
was
up.
and that was like fully just him choosing to do whatever he wanted to do with his religion because he was like, who's gonna tell me? Who's gonna tell me not
Right.
to?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who's gonna say that I'm wrong? And also, I'm the king. So if y'all want to keep being,
Alive.
my servants,
Yeah. Yeah.
y'all gonna fuck around with what I got going on. You know
Right,
what I'm saying?
right.
I'll write my own little Bible.
Yeah.
And I'll do my own
It
thing.
became just like a way to possess power.
Exactly.
Basically.
It's just a way. It's like, okay, well, you have to do this because God said.
Yeah.
Okay, is God here to?
Right.
Is God
like
here to
only
defend
God
himself?
talks through
Like-
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
y'all
God
just
here to
don't have to
defend
believe
himself?
me.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's really
human
like the
beings
question.
are quite power hungry, so it's like
Yeah.
obvious that would have that's how religion would turn out.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, come on,
Yeah.
in the Lord's year 2022, we still
Yeah.
have cults and like crazy shit
crazy.
happening.
Like,
Is like the rest of
Scientology.
your family still like in?
No, so my mother is, like, my brother isn't. He was like, nah, fuck that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then my grandmother was like, she was in it till she like died. Like she was
Mhm.
heavy in it.
Yeah.
And I feel kind of bad now because I did tell her on her death door that I was like, yeah, I'm gonna stick with this. No, okay, but at the time, I did believe I would.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah,
like,
you
I
didn't
didn't like
lie.
at
You
the
were speaking
time,
from the
but I
heart.
was
Yeah.
like, dang,
That's what you needed to hear.
Right.
That's what
You
you
know
need to hear
and
too.
then,
Yeah.
and then I was like, listen, like, I'm gonna stick with it. And then I felt bad about it, like, now. But then I'm like, you know what? Times change. Things
Right.
happen.
Times change,
you know?
things happen,
And I'm
life
like,
moves on,
and I love
and-
her so much. But it's
Right.
like, I just feel bad that she was just in it, like, her entire life.
Right.
Right.
Because she grew up during the Great Depression. And so, like, during that, like, you're clinging on to any type of hope.
Mhm.
For sure.
And so it's just kind of like, seeing her like get it, and I'm happy that it gave her some sense of hope and some sense of like peace and like
Right.
hope for the future. But it's also like, dang, like your entire life was this. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Right. That I guess, and that kind of like goes on to the question I think of like, is it worth it? You know what I mean? Like, is it worth it? Because I do know a ton of like religious people who
Mhm.
live their life, based in religion, and they're not bad people. But
No.
they truly do find happiness through
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
So
I
it's
and I
like,
think if
if-
that's
that.
like
If that's your thing,
yeah,
that's your
then go,
thing.
like,
I
be
find
happy.
happiness through a bunch of like bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying like that's like, and I'm not
Right,
saying
but everyone
bullshit in
finds
like
happen- yeah, yeah.
negative connotation, like literally like just bunch of shit, like anything. Like I
Yeah.
find passion through shit that's whatever, you know,
Right.
I
games,
think the
music.
problem just lies where it gives you so much trauma and
Right.
distraughtness
Right.
because like if you like suicide rates are high within like
Yeah.
Jehovah's Witnesses that get disfellowshipped, right? And
Mm,
it's like because you get ostracized.
Yeah.
And so it's like if you being who you are, especially within other religions, like it's for example, I'm always using being gay because like that's something like you can't change. And
Right.
so like literally if you are told every day that like what you're doing, like how you feel is wrong and
Yep.
like you're not a person, you're wrong, you're just you're defect,
Yep.
like
Mhm.
it's gonna take a toll and you're trying to cling on to that religion. That's when it becomes a problem because it's
Yeah.
like you're
it's
not
kinda- yeah.
broken.
You're not broken. And it's kind of disgusting. Truly, it's kind of I mean, it's not kind of disgusting. It's disgusting that they teach you in churches God created you the way that you are,
Mhm.
Like,
and
in his
image. You know what I'm saying? And then to turn around and be like, well, the person that God created me to be, a part of that person is, you know, I'm gay,
Mhm.
right? And then to turn around and be like, but that part of you is broken, and that part of
Yeah.
you has to change. Like that's fucked up. It's like it's kind of spitting in the face. I mean, spitting in the face of God. It's spitting
Yeah.
in the face of God. It's spitting in the face of what Jesus. If you're a Christian, and what Jesus stood for. I mean, it's anything. You know, it's just like it's gross. It's a really a gross interpretation of religion whenever you use it for hatred, because
Right.
it's so the
Yeah.
opposite
And
of
it's
what it was
supposed to be
created
teaching
for.
love,
Yeah,
Right.
you know?
that's
And
so the
it's just really
opposite of what
sad
it's
'cause you're supposed to
created
love your neighbor and you're supposed to love
Exactly.
yourself and
Yeah.
like love God. And it's like, where did we lose that in
Where did we
senses
lose
of like religions? Because like it's just been a lot of hate, or they're like, I love you, but I don't love what you do.
Yes,
like-
which
like,
is such
okay,
a
no,
crazy
like,
sentence.
no, you don't.
It's
Like,
like
That is
you
such
have
a
to love
crazy
me.
sentence.
You have to love.
That's
what
such a
yeah.
crazy sentence. I love you. I just don't love you.
I don't
Like what you
support
do.
your
I don't support what you
lifestyle,
do.
like
I don't
what you
support your
do.
lifestyle. It's like, so, but that's part of me though. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's part of me. So it's like, how do I live with myself? You know, if that part, if I have to believe that part of me is always broken,
Yeah.
or like
It's
that part of
just
me is messed
sad.
up, or I'll never get truly loved and supported in the way that I
Mhm.
should, because you will never agree with that portion of me. It's like,
Right.
And it's hard,
Insane.
especially like seeing people like change up too, because like developments.
yeah.
So to go back to where I was like, oh, earlier I got
Mhm.
learned something. So I don't know how. I guess they found me, but if y'all seeing it, shout out. I won't say who, but if you
Fake
seen it-
names, fake
yeah,
names.
so if you're seeing it, ooh. Basically, one example was my friend's mom, right? And she would like look out for us. She'd be cooking like meals for everything. Like I thought she was like a second mother, right?
Mhm.
And so somehow, because they be liking to gossip, and you know,
Mm.
you're not supposed to gossip,
you're not supposed to
but they
gossip,
be
yeah.
doing that.
Mhm.
And basically, somebody, I guess, released that like I had made a coming out thing or something like 2020 or whatever
Yeah.
when I like left. And now all of a sudden, like if my name is mentioned, it's like, ugh, like.
Wow.
And basically, my friend that I rekindled with was saying that like she was on the phone with her mom, who she's also gay, and her mom like her story I'm not gonna tell, but
Right.
basically like they had a messed up relationship for a while, and I
Yeah.
guess like it's still messed up, but like they're like communicating. And basically like she was telling me that like, yeah, like she called when we were on the phone like for the first time in like years, since like 2017, right? And then we were talking on the phone, and she was just like, yeah, like I was on the phone with Layla, and she was like, oh, you know, she confused, right? And like all this
Wow.
stuff like going on, like I mean like, and it was just like, why? And she was like, y'all was talking mad about me and the other lady there, and it was just like nobody was really even talking about Sean. Like, what are you
Right.
talking about? And so it was just interesting to see how like they change up, knowing that like just something
One
else
piece
is-
of information.
one piece of
changes
information,
everything
like-
they
like
feel
we
about
weren't
you.
Yeah.
like we weren't like I wasn't helping you cook in the kitchen
Right.
and like
Wow.
cleaning up and like
Like
doing
I'm
all
the
that
same
stuff.
person.
Right,
I
I
was gay
just-
then, gay now.
Right, like I'm still. It's just weird. And so like it's just really interesting how like religion can turn, and I understand like a lot of people have like good hearts, you know,
Yeah.
and just being misled, but it's just like dang, like
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's terrible. It's
'Cause, like, why are you that mad? Like, even if I'm say I am going to hell for being gay, why are you
Why
mad
are
that-
you
like
been-
why are
that's
you
always
pissed
been
off?
my
Like that's
question.
my decision.
That was
Like-
always my question. That was always my question, is like, why are you so, and they are, and the thing always is like, well, we want the most people in the kingdom. It's like, we want the most people to be saved and, you know,
Mhm.
like know God and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it's like you're literally killing people though.
No,
right?
like what gets
Right.
killing
me,
people.
what gets me is they'll be like, oh, I want everybody to make it to the new system and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And like I want people to like see God, but then at the same time, it's like you know that like you're praying on a God to destroy most of the world,
Yeah.
like majority of the population to
Yeah.
save a few, and it's like y'all are praying on like the downfall of so many people.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
It's
not
very
very
interesting.
holy.
It's very interesting, I think, especially from an American standpoint as well, is because like being in America where it's so isolationist because we're so far from like the rest of the world.
Mhm.
So I feel like especially like in the South, you know, for Southern Christians, it's like, well, we want to get as many people in as we can, and we like love and we care for our people, right? And you know, everybody else, they're gonna learn one day. It's like, but those people never leave the South. So it's
Yeah.
like, y'all don't know how big the rest of the world is. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a
Yeah.
lot of people, y'all. Like that's a ton of people.
Yeah.
And you're just like cool with that. Like you're cool with thinking that like everyone is just evil.
Yeah.
And I'm like, really?
And it's like I like to believe there's more good people in the world than like
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
good people. But then it's also like who is to judge? Like yeah, like there's heinous deeds, but then there's also like people that like are like gray area, like where you're kind of like I don't know, and it's just like yeah, I told a couple lies, like but
Right, yeah.
I
And-
shouldn't die for that.
And you know, from a Christian standpoint, every sin is the same. Every sin is the same,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So it's like there's not one sin that's supposed to be greater than the other.
Which is
so it's
crazy, because like
which is
how you-
wild as fuck.
no, because like how you gonna put me in the same spot as like
I'm like murderer.
yeah,
Or,
right.
Like somebody
someone that
who's-
committed genocide.
Yes,
like, I'm
somebody
in
who
the
committed genocide.
I'm in the same boat,
It is like genocide and gay people.
right? Like because I like
Really?
titties.
Right. Yeah.
What?
Like that's can't be the same.
That just seems like a parent like giving every child equal discipline, even though like the youngest kid like did some heinous shit and like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
oldest
yeah,
kid was
yeah.
just kind of like there. It's like it's just to like make things easier on the punisher. Like,
right.
That's
exactly.
so true.
That's
like
exactly
it's really
what it
not
is.
based, and that it like American Christianity, because I just traveled abroad. Like I mentioned on the last podcast, and I
Yes.
was in Italy and all that good stuff, and I was in Switzerland, and there's so many churches in Europe. Yeah, I'm everywhere in the world, but I was in Europe, so there's so many churches in Europe, and they're like, I went to one that was like thousands of years old, you know, and because these countries, these places are thousands of years old. Like America is also just as old, but we, you know, all kicked the Native Americans out.
Yes.
Right.
So you know, America is a new
Country.
place, new country, and like the feeling that I get in a church in a country like Switzerland is so much different than the feeling I get in churches in the United States, because it's like there's like so much history. It's like at one point, you know, I do believe that religion was being used in sort of the way that maybe it wasn't intended, you know, maybe, I mean, it's always been kind of flawed in like its execution, but there's at least the appreciation of history, and like real things happen there, you know, like there's like the shroud of Jesus that I saw in Italy, which is apparently like the blanket that he was
Yeah.
in, and then his face was on it.
Shroud of Turin. Talking
Yeah,
about
the
Shroud
Shroud
of
of Turin. Like I saw that. Like these churches like represent like historical landmarks and whatever. And I just feel like so many of the churches in the United States are just like, because we're so young and we came into it so late, we came into the game so late, it's just like also feels like that younger sibling that like finds a rule and is like, actually mom said that like you can't do this, and like completely
Yeah.
misconstrues it, and like is super evil. I'm clearly the oldest child, if you can.
yeah, I was about to say, I was like, whoa,
I'm
why
like,
the
damn,
young
as
child
the
in
youngest
here?
sibling, this is crazy.
It's just
Right,
giving
youngest
giving
sibling,
Stewie though. It's like Stewie like
yeah.
takes the fucking rule and you know it like misuses it, and like now all these churches are just kind of, I mean, to me it just feels more of like kind of a place of judgment, a place of
Mhm.
like, oh, we're like on a pedestal, and
Mhm.
like this is where you go to just like prove that if you can sit here for an hour every Sunday that
Mhm.
you're better than
Mhm.
than the
everyone
other
else.
people.
Yeah.
There's no history there. Like, bitch, like nothing happened in America. Like we literally colonized everything that happened here. You know, like we've destroyed all of that. Like there's no religious history here.
And people, I think a lot of Christians are worried now because they're like the younger generation like isn't going to church.
Mm.
And it's like, why would they?
Why would they?
Right.
Why
Times
would
have
they? Every time
changed.
you go there, you are hated on for being
Right.
yourself. And it's like
Right.
there's a difference in a time where you know you grew up in it, because I grew up in it as well, but I just cared significantly less.
Yeah.
I just cared so much less about the opinions of the people there. I didn't like it. It wasn't fun. So there was just like every single time that I had to go to church was like a feeling of like, ugh, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm waking up at 9 and then I have to gonna be there until 3 and then I'm gonna miss all of
Mhm.
my favorite stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like Sunday just sucked. And that was the day before I go back to school.
Yeah, like, come on, give me a
it was
break.
like,
Ugh.
you know,
Give me a break.
there was plenty of reason for me to just like dislike it. But there was a time when I guess it wasn't like that, and it was very easily like, oh well, we go to church on Sunday, like that's just what we do, you know, and like this is fine, like this is what it is. So I
think-
believe everything that's in there. But
Yeah.
younger generations, it's just like you're not going to get people back into the church teaching the shit that you teach,
No,
because
no.
yeah, I mean these kids are gay.
Right.
I'm
And there's
being
also
truthful.
like I
Yeah.
think
You know
church
what I'm
played
saying?
a bigger role in society where like there wasn't social media, like meet up with your friends and stuff. So like
Yeah.
it was a sense like I was reading a book where it's talking about like third places, right? So like coffee shops, bars, places where you meet with people that aren't work and aren't in school, and churches are one of those places.
Mm.
And so it's like one of those places where you get a sense of community, where you belong
Yeah.
and stuff. And so like I feel like a lot of churches around have like lost that feeling of like community within each other. It's like a us versus them instead of a, like
Yep.
come join
Yeah.
us
Yep.
type of
That's
feeling.
the whole point.
That's the whole point. That's what it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's just like it's really unfortunate what organized religion has become. But you know, like a lot of organized religion says, you know, we are in the end days. So it's like I kind of feel like we're near the end of what we believe or what we grew up to think of what organized religion was at one
Yeah.
point in time.
Yeah.
Because it has to change now,
Yeah,
because
Definitely.
there-
So
It's unsustainable. Like,
It's
there's not going to be
unsustainable.
enough people.
you know what I'm
The
saying?
young generations going forward are going to like, because I mean, there was a period of time when I was like an angsty preteen that I was like for sure atheist. I was like, nothing's real. Like God's not real. Like whatever. And like as I've gotten older, I've gotten more spiritual. Like I'm not religious.
feel
I've gotten more
that.
spiritual.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you know, like shit happens. Seems like it happens for a reason.
Yeah.
Like seems like there's sort of like a natural order to things. Do I think that like I need to read a book like the Bible and like follow these rules to like live a life according to that? No, like I think shit just happens, and like it's all about being mindful. And I think future generations, like our generation specifically, is like starting to kind of veer more towards that, where it's like we're
The
not
spiritual
atheists, but it's
aspect of
like
things,
we're
yeah.
still like trying to be good people because we feel like
Right.
karma's a thing, you know, the universe is might be thing,
yeah,
you know.
and I think I like that change towards like society moving.
I
Yeah.
agree. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it sucks. I think it really sucks, because I also like, I mean, I grew up very religious, you know, I grew up very Christian, and I too am now skewed toward a more spiritual type of
Yeah.
thing, because simply because like Christianity, organized Christianity, the way that it is absolutely unsustainable, like you said. And it's just, it doesn't align with anything that I believe in or have seen to be true. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's really more of a community really based thing. It's like the community that I would be involved in, the community that you would be involved in when you are a Christian. It's just, those people just suck.
Yeah.
Like they just suck.
Yeah.
Like they're racist, they're bigots, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, that's not all of them, but it's like, there's a very large, overwhelming portion
Yeah.
of the community that is.
Subtext of individualism.
Yes.
For sure.
So it's like, so it's hard to, you know what I'm saying? You would, even like back in the day, back when I would go to church off all the time, the friends that I would find would be the friends who were like, yeah, you know, I believe in this, but you know,
Mhm.
it's to this certain extent, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And
Yeah.
it's like, that's kind of what I feel like most people are going to end up going towards these later years. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. If there is a God, if there is, you know, no matter what religion is true, or if multiple religions are true, or
Yeah.
if like, or if, you know, whatever the situation is in the afterlife, I don't pretend to know or really care, because I'm focused on life here. But like, whatever that situation is, it's like, if it all boils down to being a good person, and if it all boils down to treating others the way that you want to be treated, if you do that, I feel like you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You know
I
what I'm
agree.
saying? You'll be fine.
Be
Like
fine.
you don't need to do all of these other rules and all of these
Yeah.
other
Because like I'm pretty sure people know not to kill people or like
Right. At this
Right.
point, it's like we're not beheading people like public. You know, like that's not. We
Yeah.
know that shit's bad.
right. And unfortunately, even if you do kill people, a lot of times
sometimes it's
they'll be like, well, what was the reason they were doing it? Because I mean, I'm sure.
Right.
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
self-defense,
Kyle
like-
Rittenhouse, Kyle Rittenhouse killed all them
Yeah.
people and then was fully on Fox News saying like he was a Christian and
Mhm.
love God and all that stuff. And there was plenty of Christians who were like, well, yeah, and it's like,
Right.
how do you do that? How do
And
you
just like
believe
repent?
both?
Like okay.
Yeah, it's like, how do you believe both? You know what I'm saying? If
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
only using this to be a bigot, it's like, so then what's the point? Then what do I get out of this?
Yeah,
You know
what I'm
absolutely
saying?
not.
Why
I fuck
believe
with
this?
Judaism because that's more of like a community. You know, it's like
Yeah.
Yeah,
everyone that
they
I
were
know is
unfortunately
Jewish.
made to be.
Yeah. Literally.
Due to history, yeah.
History,
they,
it's like-
they were made to be, yeah. But yeah, it is
I've never met a single Jewish person who's like pushes it on. You know, like that's like there's their culture. You know, like
Yeah.
because of the horrible things that literally the Jewish
they
population
go
has
through literally in
gone
every
through.
portion of history.
Literally,
and-
currently,
and currently
now, it's,
now,
like, never
because
ending.
Kanye West is wild.
Yeah, no, that is wild.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck
I
that guy.
fucking hate Kanye West. Well, piece of shit. But piece of shit.
I agree.
I
And
hate
if you're
him.
watching,
Absolutely.
fuck you, Kanye.
Fuck you.
Fuck you, Kanye.
Fuck
I
you.
fucked up his name.
You-
Yeah.
and good.
Good.
As you should.
Fucking hate Kanye West, man. Truly a disappointment. Like, I mean, if it awful person, but one of the worst things about it is like, first of all, I mean, inciting hate is the worst part about it. But
Yeah.
the second worst thing is just a disappointment. Because you
Yeah.
could have been so much more. You
Yeah.
could have been so much more, and instead you decided to sell out
Yep.
and be a
Yeah.
bitch.
Yep.
Fuck
Fuck
Kanye West.
Kanye West.
Fuck Kanye West,
Yep.
man. Piece of shit.
And mental health is not an excuse. Like
No, he's not. I mean-
Anti-Semitism is not like a mental health.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, and we have to stop with this
Yeah.
whole babying him thing. Oh, well, he doesn't know
Yeah.
how to handle. He doesn't
Like,
know how
we're
to
all
take his
mentally
medicine.
ill,
Oh, we're
bitch.
all fucking mentally ill,
Right.
bitch, and none of us are fucking
Like,
anti-Semitic.
anti-Semitic,
So I don't
no.
know what the hell I don't know what the hell you're doing.
I don't.
That's insane.
You know,
Yeah.
get
help.
over
You're
it.
so rich.
Yeah, get
Right.
fucking help with your fucking billions of
No,
dollars.
but instead
your
of
phone
going
down.
to school,
No,
like
but-
be serious.
Yeah,
be
no, but
for
you
real.
want to do this. You want to do this shit, and
Yeah.
to continue to blame and be like, oh well, he doesn't know what he's doing, and blah blah blah.
Take his phone away. Like I don't
Yeah.
like hold him accountable.
I'm glad that they banned him off of social media
Yeah.
platforms.
Yeah, he
Absolutely
got dropped
not.
by his agency too, and
Yeah.
Def Jam
Good.
dropped Good
Good.
Music too. I think a real
It's a
shift
wrap.
is coming. Yeah,
It's a wrap.
It's
Yeah.
fucking over. I mean, he has nothing of relevance to say and
Yeah.
hasn't for many years now. So
Yeah.
that's
No.
it. Well, that was a great.
I know. Like, well, no, that was the scary thing about
There's
religion.
Yeah, there's nothing scarier than
There's nothing
shit
scarier
like
than
that,
that shit
man.
like this,
Like
man. I
because
mean,
it's
'Cause
I
it
mean,
is your life.
God says that I'm going to hell. Oh damn, okay.
It's like, yeah,
You
that's
know what? I kind
that's
of
just to
think it'd be
scare the
kind of
hell out of
fun
me.
though.
Yeah.
Like,
Hell?
yeah,
okay.
cause like all my friends will be there. I know y'all will.
The homies.
Hey,
Well-
I know y'all will.
I know y'all will.
Hey. I know you got one.
Like, but like it'll be like lukewarm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah,
a
no,
little
it'll be
toast.
Little
fine.
hot tub.
Like a
our
85
hot tub
degrees.
night.
Yeah, 85 degrees.
I just don't think we go to hell.
I don't think. Yeah, I think we're all
truly,
good people.
I just truly don't.
You know
I
what?
just, like,
Yeah.
I feel like the people who are, if there is a hell, I feel like the people who are going to hell are the bigots, the actual bad people.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah,
I
they
don't
gotta
think
go to hell.
I don't think that there is
Yeah.
a punishment for being gay. I don't think there's a punishment for standing up for what you believe in. I don't
Yeah.
think
Right.
there's a punishment at the afterlife for that.
No.
I simply don't.
That's
And I
right.
never believed that, which is why I never aligned with what the church was preaching. Because they were like, it's all these things that'll get you sent to hell. And
I was like, shit.
I was like, yeah,
I
was
know,
well,
like, that
I'm
list
fucking-
was long.
Yeah.
I'm on all this bitch. So it's like,
No, God's got nuance. If God is real and God
God is
made
real.
everything, He understands nuance. He's gonna send a pedophile to hell. He's not gonna send
yes, and he's
some
Right.
cool ass person who ate shrimp
he's
to hell.
not
You know
evil.
what I'm
Yes,
saying?
he's not
Had
evil. You know
breeds.
what I'm saying? If the whole thing is that God is good, then God's gonna do the good thing.
Right.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like,
I do have a couple questions for him, but that'll be
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Got a
But
couple questions.
Yeah.
Have them on the podcast.
I'm not trying to be in hell because hell is kind of hot. And I hate
not
the
being
heat.
at the Oscars getting
He
cute.
was like, wrap it up. Y'all 30 seconds is over.
Okay, yes. Wow, great episode. Thank you so much for being on the
thank you for
podcast.
Sharing
Ray.
like your experience. I
Yes.
know that's kind of like crazy, but
What a blast. What a blast. All right, well, I'm Isaiah Washington.
I'm Maria Small.
And
Thanks for
you
watching. Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween!